Welcome to the Sprinkles of Spirit podcast, where self-love meets faith, and your soul is reminded it's here to flourish. I'm Lisa, your guide to unleashing your full potential through soulful insights and grounded tools. This is your sacred space to heal, grow, and bloom wherever you are planted. I am here to remind you of your inherent worthiness to live an inspired life in your mind, body, and spirit. And may you always carry this sacred truth. You are loved beyond measure. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast, my Sprinkles of Spirit tribe, my angels out there. Those of you who have been here, who have watched this creative evolution here, I appreciate you. I see you, and I'm so grateful that you are here. If you happen to stumble upon this podcast, maybe for the first time, you can click to play. Hello. I am so happy that you found us. My name is Lisa Flora, and I am a yoga and meditation teacher, and I started a podcast a few years ago as a way to show up and to continue to share not only with my students, but to those who will come into alignment, with all that I am meant to share, through my voice, through my teachings, my writings, all that I create. And yeah, this is our sacred space, and it's where I kind of get to have I guess you could call it my vocal spiritual journal, and I share guidance and wisdom that I have learned along my path. And I am calling this year, this is my birthday month, it's coming to a close, and I'm calling this year my hashtag 51 is fun. So yeah, it's like this midlife bloom that I'm experiencing, and I am here to help you flourish in your mind, in your body, and in your spirit. And no matter what age you are, I believe it's possible for all of us to really dive into and strengthen self-love and gain resilience, and to deepen our faith. And we talk about all the things here: mind, body, and spirit, wellness. I just share, all that I can to help you connect with those truths that I believe reside in you. Because I know along my path, it's like, I don't believe, don't let somebody think that they're the only ones that can tell you what's right for you, or the right path to learn, the right path to dive into. I feel like we're guided to the right teacher, the right podcast host, the right book, the right course that's going to kind of help you discover and get into alignment again with that deep part of you that knows what's right for you. So in essence, essentially, you are your own teacher. You are your own guide. You are your own guru, right? I'm here to, help you see that yellow brick road in front of you, and I'm here to kind of guide you along the way and help you step into those sparkly red slippers and click them together and say, my dear, you've always had the power. You've always had the power. So yeah, it's been quite a month. quite a heavy month. I am going to just dive right into this because I took some time to digest what's been going on in the world. A lot of heaviness, a lot of heaviness. And my empaths out there, you are a sensitive being. If you are here, we feel it, we feel the collective energy of fear, of anger, of confusion, of sadness. We feel that. So it can be tough, And I have to sometimes pull back from everything myself, get grounded, spend time in nature if I can, breathe, get on my yoga mat, and take a time out from it all. Limit your time, watching the news. Of course, we have to stay informed, of course. But I limit it, because it just doesn't work for me, to stay in these dark spaces. And I've kind of been, my birthday month, I always do a lot of reflection. It's kind of like I'm a big person I'm a big reflection person. I really feel like every year on your birthday, I feel like it's a good time to sit and reflect on maybe the past year or maybe all of your life and go ask ourselves this question, what do I know for sure at this point in my life? What do I know for sure? And of course, Oprah had that book out. And I just love that question because I think each year, I look back on what I write or what I speak about, and it's always something different, and the evolution of growth is never ending. I'm always learning, I'm always growing, I'm always expanding, and I feel that we are meant to always learn and grow and change and transform. And so this year, it's like my birthday kind of fell into a month of a lot of heaviness out in the world. And it's not easy to navigate, and it's not easy to explain to everybody how the best way for us to digest everything. All I know is what I know for sure along my spiritual path, that I can tell you, how do we deal with the heaviness out there in the world and all of the judgment that we feel, and this sense of divisiveness. I can tell you it's the opposite of what I've learned along my path of being a yoga teacher, a guide, of practicing yoga. And I've thought about my yoga journey and what it has taught me. And I don't know, this might get a little, like, I might take you to church a little bit today. Grab your journal. But I'm feeling it. The number one thing I can always tell you that yoga will guide you to is the present moment. The Power of Now. It's a great book by Eckhart Tolle. If you've never read it, grab it. And I will tell you, binge listen if you're new to my episodes, because I've shared my journey, of grew up in a Catholic home, and I, always felt connected to God, to angels, and was raised with faith and was taught prayer and taught how to connect to my breath quite young, And later in life, my yoga journey happened. And when I first started practicing, let me talk about the physical practice of asana. When I got on the mat, it was like this immediate moving meditation that anchored me rather, into the present moment. So it's like that mat, I always say, is our four-cornered little island that we get to ground into and simply be, right? Be here now with what is happening on your mat and in your body now through the breath. and the connection between the breath and the movements ends up creating spaciousness in the mind, and essentially guiding us to be able to, the ancient yogis did the practice, essentially to sit in a comfortable seat and quiet the fluctuations of the mind, aka meditation, right? After, Shavasana, that last final resting pose, it's the perfect time for meditation. We've emptied the body of the tension. We've created this space in the mind, and then we're ready to sit. Where am I going with this? My yoga practice always does that for me, but it also, I will tell you, allowed me to deepen and develop on a different level my personal relationship with God, and yes, with the higher power of your own understanding. And I'm going to say, and maybe I feel that some people, well, I'm just going to say it. I feel a deep connection to Jesus. And I've been listening to another podcast for my yogis out there, Jay Brown, Yoga. What is it? Jay Brown Talks. And he's had a couple episodes that have been so honest and raw and vulnerable. Yoga Talks. Thank you, Jay Brown Yoga Talks. Just so raw and vulnerable and inspiring. He's just kind of unleashing his journey that yoga has kind of brought him to develop a personal relationship and dive into the frequency of Jesus, right? So hear me out. I am a person who really right away connected with the message of union, right? Yoga is union, to yoke together, mind, body, spirit, and to experience the highest vibration that resides in everyone of love, of truth, of compassion, of forgiveness, and oneness. And along my journey, it's like what I've realized, because along my journey of self-love, of self-inquiry, I go where my soul lights up, right? So I've always had a passion for astrology. I dove deep into that. So cool. And I still do. And I study it. And then I learned about human design and studied that. And I got certified in aromatherapy and holistic healing, and I'm a Reiki practitioner. And then I got certified in sound healing and all these different ways of cleansing and clearing our frequency, understanding energy. And then I studied with Dr. Joe Dispenza and the power of the mind and manifestation, and how we are always co-creating. We are essentially always manifesting our lives with the energy that we carry, and we attract what we are, who we are. And what I've kind of come to at this point in my life is a really deep understanding that all of those things, essentially I call them tools, right? Tools to peel back the layers of ourselves, tools to shed our ego identity that we are born into and that gets created and all the labels get placed upon us. These tools are just different ways of chipping away at the diamond that I've said before. And I talk about a book by Father Richard Rohr, Your Immortal Diamond. Getting to your true essence, getting to your true core, the soul. And when we are sitting at the soul level, the seat of the soul, that's another great book, Gary Zukav. I read all the books so you guys don't have to. Just stay with me. the soul is where we can feel and deepen and strengthen our faith and connect with the higher power of our own understanding. And what I've realized is how important, outside of having all of these tools and these practices, I'll call them, and holistic healing and all of it, I think for me, I've come to a place, maybe some of you will understand this, that having what anchors me and what grounds me and what I am passionate about continuing to strengthen and evolve in and deepen is having a personal relationship with God. And I'm not going to be afraid to say that on this podcast, and I'm not going to be afraid anymore, because I think I have been, to speak the name Jesus, because that is who I connect with. And it's not to say I don't connect with, and I'm not going to talk religion here. I'm not going to, we can have hours and hours of that. Maybe that'll be another episode, but there's so many beautiful, beautiful practices of faith, of religion, Buddhism, beautiful practices that I connect with, beautiful practices that, that have touched my soul, of mantra that I do practice. And I can only say that it's like the frequency will land in your heart and soul. When something speaks to you, it will land and come into alignment for you in your soul in such a way that you'll just know, this prayer feels right for me. This practice feels right for me. And in this way, I am my true self, and I am feeling the connection to God, to my angels, to Jesus, to Buddha, to whoever, to love, to my creator, to source, to Mother Nature. And right now, where I am in my life, circling back to what's going on in the world, this heaviness, this divisiveness, this deep sadness and deep anger that is out there. I feel it. I have it. I've asked myself, because this is not easy, can I sit in front of someone who has completely different beliefs than mine? Can I sit in front of them and hold the qualities of my creator, of Jesus, of God, of love, of having a deep, deep sense of humility, and really holding the frequency of understanding and embracing the mystery that I don't know it all. I only know what love feels like, what kindness feels like, what unconditional love feels like, what accepting others feels like. I know for me and my soul, judging and a sense of separateness, it doesn't feel right to me. It just doesn't feel right to me. I know I don't have the answers. I know I cannot be responsible for all of the world. But I've been asking myself, as someone who's been willing more and more and more and more to use my voice, to show up, to share, to create, here in this space on Insight Timer, how can I show up more grounded in those qualities of humility, of love, of connection, and of oneness. And that is something I am on the path of, I don't have all the answers. I only know what feels right. And what feels right for me to share is guiding you down that yellow brick road to loving yourself and to connecting to a place that's really deep inside you, away from the noise, away from the divisiveness, away from the judgments, away from the fear. I feel confident in knowing that I am capable of being a guide that can take you to that space. That space where you connect to the truth of who you are and you get into alignment with what feels right through and through in your soul, with what feels gentle, with what feels kind, with what feels like love for you. I know I can take you there. I know I can help you understand what self-love is. And I know I can help you get to that place of deepening faith and gaining essentially resilience that we all need, and this understanding that we're in it together, that we're meant to live a life that feels loving and joyful and passionate. And there's that other side of it too that I've been connecting with, and that is my 5 senses. Because I can be completely excessive in my upper chakras, like way up there. It's like, thank God I have aligned with, my frequency, my vibration has attracted just the most beautiful people around me in my life that I'm enormously grateful for. Coaches and teachers and guides and my husband and my family who ground me, and they are my reminders that I needed in this lifetime to, hey, our senses are also needed. We're meant to see and touch and taste and feel and play and laugh and dance and joy. And I've been diving into that this month, my birthday month, and it has felt really, really good. And what I've learned is, like, when I'm in the frequency of joy, I create more joy. I attract more joy. I become a magnet for more joy. And it's like, I'm literally getting chills right now saying it, because I've lived it. I've experienced it. And that is where we are meant to be. And this is not me being, I'm not trying to spiritual bypass everything and go, everything's great. Everything's love and peace and harmony. I realize there is darkness in the world. There is darkness in our lives. But I can tell you, I am getting to a place, and I'm not 100% there, but I've gotten to this place, and I've said it kind of, out loud a few times in conversations with people I trust, that it's not this sense of numbness that I feel, but I feel, even when something really bad happens, I've realized it's not a numbness I'm feeling. I feel anchored in support from my very deep personal relationship with God. I feel that hand holding me up. I feel it wiping away my tears. I feel a sense of resilience, knowing and trusting I'm going to be okay and I'm going to get through it. And out of it, something good will come. And because I have this like sense of support through that very personal relationship with my creator, that's why I can feel confident going forward, showing up in this space and continuing to be a guide, teaching the practices, what I've learned, sharing, showing up, connecting with the breath, creating and writing meditations that will help people get there too. Because this is the point that I'm at. I'm very aware that we're navigating rough waters sometimes in life, you know? It's not all smooth sailing. There's going to be some storms. But I'm at the point where I know through the storms, my personal relationship, that is the true source of my strength. And that is the true source of joy. And I feel overwhelmed with gratitude that I'm aware, number one, of this, and that I answered the call. And I'm following my yellow brick road. I don't know, the yellow brick road just came to me. And I know like Wicked 2 is coming out and I can't wait. But, you know, so it's about finding your yellow brick road. What is your yellow brick road leading you back to your sparkly red, joyful slippers that are ready to help you dance and feel confident and love yourself on the deepest level. And know that our true essence, aka our home abides within. Chip away at the outer shell. Chip away to your true diamond. You know, it's not the outside noise. It's not the separateness. It's not the judgments. Right? What if we all did that? I mean, I know that's a huge question, but what if, right? What if everybody, you know, would answer the call to understand the qualities of humility, of love, of acceptance, you know, of accepting people, no matter whether you agree or disagree, just knowing and trusting we're all connected in really this true essence of love. And I know this got a little, probably like maybe the deepest this year, or if not ever, along this podcast journey, but I had to say something, you know, my sweet souls here listening to this. I had to say something because I know it's been heavy, you know, and I am not exempt from feeling the confusion too, you know, and sometimes feeling the fear too. Of course I do. Of course. We're human, but I hope to be a source for you. So in the show notes, I'm going to leave a link to my space on Insight Timer that I'd love for you to check out and join me for live meditations. To join me in meditations that are there. The tracks are there for you. But stay with me on this path and connect in that way. It's been really, really great to build community in that space. And I see it evolving and growing, and more to come with that. So I've been working with, for those of you who are familiar, my sensitive souls, with Dr. Judith Orloff. She's an awesome author, and she's written several books on what it is to be a highly sensitive person. And I've been working with that for years, but I bought her card deck, the Empath's Empowerment deck. So let's see. Let's just pick, from this deck and see how we can move forward, feeling grounded in our true essence, this week. Let's just see. And there it is. They always pop out. I love it. Okay. So perfect. So it says tame negative thinking. Tame negative thinking. And the picture is like these birds flying in the sky and this woman like completely laughing and just letting go. And the message is, when negative thoughts arise, experience the feelings behind them and then shift to a larger, more compassionate perspective. So that's what I mean when it's like, allow yourself to go outside, allow yourself to dive into a practice that helps you peel back the layers, that helps you get grounded, that helps you anchor into your breath, that helps you create spaciousness in your mind and let go of the negative thoughts, of the noise around us. So you can really hear the truth of your soul, and we do that when we can get this wider view of our life. For me, it is going outside. I love sun coating, sunbathing. I love breathing the fresh air. If you can, walk by a body of water, walk by the beach, sit and stare at the ocean if you can, or even just gazing at a tree, going for a walk. Connect to compassion for the world, I think. And let go of the negative thoughts, because it's never going to bring us the frequency that we all really, truly create from. And that's when we come from a place of love and not fear. So, yeah, love that. So thank you. I'm grateful for you, and I can't wait to connect with you. So join me there. The links are in the show notes. Insight timer for daily inspiration. Give me a follow. Flourish with Lisa on Instagram now. And I'd love to see you there. So until next time, have a beautiful week. Namaste.